Dying for a date? Aching for a little prick of passion? Well, be careful what you wish for. Or like the young man in tonight's terror tale, you may just get it. I call this nauseating number Loved to Death. Good old Edward. He should have stuck to sending MASH notes. Maybe then he wouldn't have ended up in a state of holy deadlock. So, was it good for you too? Ooh, talk about head over heels. A corpse by any other name would smell as sweet. Unless, of course, it isn't dead yet. Tonight's tawdry tale is about a man who's gravely concerned about matters of life and death. Why he'd care about that remains to be seen. I call this putrid piece Abra-Cadaver. Tisk, tisk, tisk. And Carl thought he was the family's practical choker. Wanna play doctor? Then open wide and say, "Ah!" Welcome aboard, fright seers. Looking for a little holiday fun? You've come to the right place. We specialize in all sorts of package tours. So what'll it be? A few days in a scream park? Or would you like me to book you into a nice quiet bed and breakfast? Or perhaps you'd like to go treasure haunting like my friend Red. He wants to steal a priceless black pearl in a tasteless tidbit I call dead weight. Ooh, talk about being headed off at the pass. We've got a guest, kiddies. Whoopi, it's a pleasure to meet you. I want you to know that I loved your movie, The Killer Purple.
That's color purple, Crypt Keeper.
Oh. Right, well, congratulations on winning that Academy Award.
Well, thanks, but it's actually called an Academy Award.
Whatever. Look, it's a pleasure to meet a big star like you.
Now, you're a pretty big star. I mean, I'd love it if you'd be in my next film.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a bit part.
I'm flattered.
But you don't know what bit I want.
Well, as long as I don't wind up on the cutting room floor.
Okay.
Good evening, culture vultures, and welcome to another installment of Mash to Pieces Theater. Tonight we ask the question, to be or not to be? Or in this case, an actor stuck with an average face, who's so sick and tired of auditioning, he's willing to do almost anything. Did I say almost? I call this sickening saga Top Billing. Bravo! Encore! Well, Barry asked for the part and he got it. But typical Barry, they still couldn't use his face. It's just as well the critics would have cut him to pieces. I'm calling my agent. I waited all my death to play the part of Yorick. So until next time, kiddies. Hello? I'd like to speak with my agent. What do you mean he's in a beating? I want to suck your blood. That's not right. I want to suck your blood. No, that's not it. I want to suck... Hello, kiddies. You caught me in the middle of my homework. Your old pal, the Crypt Keeper's a real believer in continuing deducation. Which brings us to tonight's murderous morsel. It's a juicy little tale about a real bloodsucker who never learned to go for the jugular. I call this plasma play The Reluctant Vampire. It's good to see two lovers so batty about each other. Now that's a relationship they can sink their teeth into. As for me, I've got to get back to work. Exams, you know. I hear the finals are a real pain in the neck. Not that I'm worried or anything. So far, all my marks have been perfect. Greetings, art lovers. Vincent Van Gogh here with another morbid masterpiece sure to paint you into a coroner. Something's not quite right. Ah, yes. Now that's a still life. Tonight's tale concerns a painter who's tired of people giving his work the brush. I call this pestilent portrait of the artist as a young mangler. Ease'll kill ya. Well, Sharon's croaking is sure to leave a very bad taste on Jack's palate. What a shame she turned into such a Mona Lisa. You know, kiddies, some artists prefer watercolors, others prefer oils. But me, I prefer finger painting. Quiet on the set. Deathly quiet. Fond felicitations, fiends, and welcome to the crypt. Tonight's sordid saga is about a couple of kids with time to kill. See, they're just dying to get into the horror movie business. And if they're lucky, that's exactly what'll happen to them. Lights! Camera! Action! Ah, well, poor Sebastian. A brilliant career going down the drain. As for the kiddies, Josh gave up on making movies. Seemed he didn't have the guts. And the others, they became lawyers. Must have been the taste of blood. After all, they were certain they'd gotten themselves a killer. I mean, who wears shoes like these except a killer? So until next time, see you later, alligator! There you are. You're just in time. I'm trying out a few recipes for my new Betty Croker cookbook. I hope you like shish kebab. Damn, it isn't ready yet. Bob's still moving. Tonight's I'll feast. We'll begin with mashed potatoes, then move on to some shrieking duck, and finish with a nice kielbasa. I call this tasty tidbit morning mess. Pretty tasteless, wouldn't you say? I guess in the end, Mr. Sweeney learned not to go digging into other people's business. Although you'll be happy to hear he's found himself a new career as a ghostwriter. So, still hungry for dessert? I hope you like cannibal soup. It's good. Sometimes life can be such a grind. Know what I mean? That's why I like to get out every now and then and swing a little. So much for his family tree. Tonight's tale concerns a young woman who's about to do a little swinging of her own. She wants to prove that a good man is hard to find, but easy to get rid of. I think you'll like this little chopping spree I call Split Second. Now that's what I call sushi roll. I guess Liz was right. A good man is hard to find, especially after he's been chopped into so many pieces. Well, kiddies, I've got a little chopping to do of my own. It's my producer's birthday. He's always wanted final cut. And that's exactly what he's getting. So, what'll it be, stranger? Can I interest you in a Mai Tai? Or would you prefer a rum and choke? Or maybe you'd like something a little stronger? I've got just the thing. It's a nasty little snootful about a news hound named Charlie, who needs a murder story and a drink. But not necessarily in that order. Ah, what some people won't do for a good stiff one. I call this little eye-opener Deadline. Poor Charlie. I bet he wishes that he'd killed the story instead. Perhaps now they'll let him write for the paper's horoscope column. Care for another drink? Or should I just put a head on this one? There you are, sports fiends. You know, dead people like me make excellent point guards. When we can't get off a shot, we simply pass. Away, that is. Speaking of which, allow me to be your fear leader for tonight's halftime show. It's a putrid playlist about my personal favorite sport, being a mortician. I fittingly call it Fitting Punishment. Well, looks like old Ezra learned raising a teen is no walk in the graveyard. Now he's going to need one of his cheap coffins for himself. That's what he gets for having a name like Ezra. As for poor Bobby, He got a pretty nasty case of athlete's foot, didn't he? I mean, I've heard of footloose, but yikes! Oh well, I guess the next best thing to making a goal is becoming a ghoul. Right, kiddies? Firing squad, present arms. Hello, creeps. I was just about to fire off tonight's Dead Time story. It's about a young soldier who doesn't want to be in the army anymore. I can't imagine why not. I mean, war's a great equal opportunity destroyer. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Ready? Maim? And here's my favorite part. Fire! I call tonight's tale Yellow. I guess Martin finally learned his lesson. No guts, no gory. Well, gotta go, kiddies. It's time for my shots. Fire! Yes, yes. Oh, yes! Boy, I get a bang out of that!